Few names in the music industry command as much respect as David Foster, a 16-time Grammy Award winner, including 3 for Producer of the Year. With a career spanning over 5 decades, Foster has shaped the sound of modern pop, R&B, and film scores, working with legends like Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Barbra Streisand, Michael Bublé, and more. His talent for crafting timeless hits has earned him an Emmy Award, a Golden Globe, and multiple Academy Award nominations for Best Original Song. As a producer, songwriter, and arranger, his influence can be heard in some of the most iconic songs of all time, from I Will Always Love You to The Prayer and After the Love Is Gone. Now, whether behind the piano or in the studio, David Foster continues to be a driving force in music, leaving a legacy that's nothing short of legendary, and he joins me now to talk a bit about his career and his upcoming performance with his very talented wife, Katharine McPhee, at the Community Arts Center in downtown Williamsport on Wednesday, May 14th. Welcome, David and Kat. David, if I can start with you. You were a member of the early 70s group Skylark. Of course, they had an awesome hit called Wildflower. It became a classic, but the band itself kind of had a short run. But looking back, I got to ask, what did you experience, or what did that experience teach you about the music industry, and how did it shape your path as a songwriter and a producer?
Well, we were a one-hit wonder, Skylark, which is puts us in kind of that, rare air of one-hit wonders. But I did manage to go on from there, as you know. But it was great. I mean, to be from Canada, come down to Los Angeles. First day we're here, I got everything stolen out of my Volkswagen van. We went ahead and made the record anyway, and then we have a hit. I mean, first time out was just phenomenal. And then, of course, in true fashion, we couldn't hold it together, discrepancies in the group. And Sure. This one wanted to go this way and that one, as often happens. And we broke up, and I found myself broke and living in Los Angeles. But I knew that LA was the place that I think that I could, realize, my potential and what I really wanted to do with my life.
You've written some of music's most famous songs, After the Love Is Gone by Earth, Wind and Fire, Gloria Love for Peter Cetera, She's a Beauty by The Tubes, St. Elmo's Fire by John Parr, and one of my favorite ballads, David, Love Theme from St. Elmo's Fire, For Just a Moment. And I'm just scratching the surface of the songs you've written. So from power ballads to film scores, your music spans multiple genres. Do you have a favorite style to compose, or is it just kind of inspiration dictates the direction?
I think, by the way, on most of my songs that I did write, I did have co-writers, which are too numerous to mention, but
Sure.
Thank you for that. When I lay my hands on the piano, what comes out is this sort of soft style, which I guess maybe I was one of the guys that helped create that style in the 80s. But I love all kinds of music, and I'd like to think that, I could write for Van Halen or Pearl Jam or, Kendrick Lamar, but because I love all that, but it just doesn't come out when I lay my hands on the piano. That's the music that comes out. And, I don't want to say I'm stuck with it but I wish I knew how to do other genres, but this is me, so I don't know. It's worked.
You've worked with some of the greatest voices in music history. I mean, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Barbra Streisand. Is there a secret? Do you have a secret to bringing out the best in an artist?
I actually do, and it's a little inside, but I'll share it with you anyway. My mantra when I go into the studio with any singer is that I'm going to get a better vocal out of them than anybody ever has or anybody ever will. Now, obviously, that doesn't work all the time. That would be impossible. But that's the mantra that I go in with, and that's the attitude I have. And sometimes I think I pull it off. But that's what I try to do every single time, whether it's with my wife or whether it's with Barbara or Madonna or whoever. But I would also say, though, that I do love working with great singers. You don't see me working, doing sort of novelty records with artists that maybe don't sing that well, even though I appreciate them and some of them make great records. But that's just not for me.
All right. Kind of as a side to that question, you've helped shape so many careers. Is there an artist you worked with who truly surprised you with their talent and growth?
Well, I think in the 2000s, when I started working with Celine, I had no clue that she would become this fashion icon and be, able to build a beautiful home in Florida and have such great taste. When I started working with Josh Groban, I didn't know he was a drummer. I didn't know he could play piano. I didn't know that he could write songs. I just loved his voice. And then the same with Bublé. I had no clue that he could ever write a song. And then look what he does. He writes, he wrote hit after hit. So many artists have surprised me. And then even Bocelli, I just loved his voice, but who knew that he could play the piano and the flute and the guitar and the trumpet and be this Renaissance man? And he was a former lawyer. And, there's just, when talent begets talent, I guess. And when you're talented, it usually doesn't just stop with the thing that you're known for.
The other half of your show that you're bringing to the Community Arts Center in Williamsport is your wife, Kat. And if I can ask her a question, your career has spanned music, Broadway, television, and film. And correct me if I'm wrong, Kat, but I believe you're currently working on a new album. What's been the most rewarding part of your journey? And is there a dream project that you haven't tackled yet?
I will. Can I just interrupt for 1 second? I'm going to let her talk. But no, she's giving a speech in the desert, a talk, like a sort of a mini TED talk on her life. And she's really, I learned a lot just listening to her working on it. And she's got lots to say about all of that. So here she is.
Oh, well, I think you just gave some random information to them. But I'm working on music. Put out a whole album. I've put out lots of albums. And I think that the way that music has changed, you don't necessarily have to have a whole body of work. But I'm just kind of taking time to go to Nashville, write with amazing writers, and sort of just have some time that's away from being a mom and being a wife. And it's been really enjoyable. And so that's been the nice part, is that I didn't actually know if I've songwritten before. And looking back, I didn't really think that I enjoyed it that much, but I have been enjoying myself. And so we'll just kind of see what comes out of it. So really, it should be done out of joy and enjoyment. It is work, really, to try and come up with songs and be creative like that. But so again, I don't know if it's going to be a full album, but it will be just a selection of a few songs that hopefully, I want to have like a couple great songs opposed to 12 good songs.
Sure.
So that's sort of the goal, is to just try and achieve some greatness. But
so here's a question for both of you. Either one of you can answer. Both of you can answer. In the current touring show, An Intimate Evening with David Foster and Katharine McPhee, I imagine it's packed full of great music, but what else can the audience expect out of this show?
Well, one of the things that I love to do, Jake, is go to the audience and get people to sing. And I do it in every show. Sometimes Kat comes out and helps the singer if they're struggling a little, but I like to find a guy and a girl separately, two people, and just let them get up and sing. And you'd be surprised at how many times I've found people that can really deliver. There's the odd time when it's just miserable, and that kind of works too, because it's fun for the audience. You'll get like it actually blows my mind, because sometimes you'll get like, me, I want to go, me,
Sure.
pick me, and you get up there and they're drunk and they can't sing at all. And then it's all I can do just to be nice about it, right?
Sure.
Like, I want to say, why did you put up your hand? Anyway, for the most part, it's fun and the audience is involved. And it's
I was going to say that I think my favorite part of the show is when I come out on stage.
I thought you would say when you leave the stage.
No, I'm kidding. But I do really love the beginning of the show where David and I think a lot of people are sort of surprised by the banter that he and I have. It doesn't feel scripted, but some people are not sure whether it is scripted or it's sort of off the cuff. And so we have a good time with our back and forth with each other, and also just like telling people our story of how we met. I think it's really relatable, even though we're not the most conventional couple. I think the audience finds a lot of things that are relatable and fun inside things to learn about us, and it's a good time. We poke fun at each other.
Well, David and Kat, before I let you go, I do want to ask you, David, can you tell us a little bit about Boop, the musical, which I understand opens this Friday at the Broadhurst Theater on Broadway?
It does. So this has been a long journey, Jake, of, 15 years. And we went through 3 directors and 3 writers and just all sort of necessary stuff to get to this great creative team that's been a long journey. And we hope that we'll be running for years. That's the goal. And so it's a great family show. It's lighthearted, it's funny. You can bring we say 8 to 80. You can bring your child and not be embarrassed. You'll have to cover their ears for anything. And there's not many, if any, new shows on Broadway right now that can appeal to children as well as 80-year-olds. I mean, obviously
Sure.
Lion King and Wicked are still there, but they've been around for years and years. So we kind of feel like we're in a great lane.
All right, this is going to be a fantastic show. And this is based on the cartoon character Betty Boop, correct?
That's right, from the 1930s, and she magically finds her way into 2025, and it's nothing but fun from beginning to end.
Well, David and Kat, we are looking forward to your show here in Williamsport at the Community Arts Center. I believe this is your first time in Williamsport. I think you're going to love the venue. It's a beautiful venue, the Community Arts Center, and I know I'm personally looking forward to it, and this has been an absolute pleasure having the opportunity to speak with you both. So I want to thank you so much for your time today.
Great, and neither of us have ever been to Williamsport, if you can believe it. So we're looking forward to spending an extra day there, which I think we have, so we can really look around and see your beautiful town.
Again, a big thanks to David and Katharine for sharing their stories and giving us a sneak peek at what's in store when they come to Williamsport. Catch their show on Wednesday, May 14th at the Community Arts Center in downtown Williamsport. For details and tickets, head over to caclive.com.